I held a top secret SCI TK clearance. That means special compartmented Tango Kilo information, which is above top secret, if you will. It takes a special investigation to get that sort of a clearance. Upon graduation, or upon getting out of the Air Force, retiring as a colonel in 1986, I was a director of logistics at Wright-Patterson Air Force Base. I applied for work at Boeing, and I came into work for Boeing as a computer systems analyst, and I've been working since 1987 in that capacity with Boeing. I have had various opportunities to see things that come through my perusal. For one instance, back in 1962, I was lieutenant at Ramstein Air Force Base in Germany. Excuse me. I was a crypto officer for the entire Ramstein Air Base. I was a top secret control officer. And in that capacity, I happened to see a classified message go through my comm center which said that a UFO has crashed on the island of Spitsbergen, Norway, and a team of scientists are coming to investigate it. I do not recall where the message came from, where it was going to, because in that capacity, we were oftentimes told, what you see here, leave here. But I can recall seeing that. The next thing that comes to mind is one that took place in 1967. I was in charge of the communications center at 28th Air Division at Malmstrom Air Force Base, Montana. I was, again, the top secret control officer there. I dispatched all the nuclear launch authenticator to the SAC missile crews and whatnot, so I had a very good top secret background to go on. One night, or one day I should say, I happened to see a message that came through my communications center. There again, I cannot quote the date, where it came from, where it was going to, but I do recall reading it and saying that basically that a UFO was seen near missile silo numbers I can't recall, but it was hovering there, and it said that the crew going on duty and the crew coming off duty all saw the UFO just hovering in midair. It was a metallic circular object, and from what I understand, the missiles were all shut down. Since that time, a couple years ago, a friend of mine, Bob Kaminsky, a manager at Boeing, who has since passed away, in fact he passed away last year. On the Art Bell show one night, a guy by the name of Bob Solis called in, and he was talking about this incident, and I said, interesting. He was talking about these missiles being shut down, and then later on that night, Bob Kaminsky, who had retired from Boeing, he called into the Art Bell show, and he said, yes, I was the manager, or I was the engineer assigned by Boeing to come up and check out the missiles to make certain that they in fact had not gone down upon their own. And he said, I gave him a complete bill of health. And I worked for Bob in Boeing, and he was a good friend of his. Even before he passed away, we had many, many conversations on the subject, and he was just a very incredible man. What I mean by missiles going down, they were not in a launch, they were in the missile silos, and they were being, I don't know what SAC does as far as activating a missile is concerned, but it's basically on a standby mode, so it can be launched. But when they say it went down, it means it went dead. And something turned those missiles off, and so they could not be put in a mode of launching.